Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. So this was a trip that I took out to Emerson Point and basically started off with a pinfish like I always do. Got to start with that pinfish. But anywho, was out there scouting, didn't ever fish this area before, and as you can see the tide was pretty low all day and much lower at the end of the day. So I drifted a few times just kind of checking the area out, and had a gentleman pretty much approach me as I was setting up and throwing a few casts out. I actually lost a fish while he was chatting with me out there, but he was asking about my rudder, talking about his own kayak. He did not have one, and really just seeing if it was beneficial and if he should do it. Definitely encouraged him to do it, and that it's a huge benefit for tracking. So there he goes, took off. But yeah, anywho, love this kayak, love this platform. And again, scouting it, this was just fishing the flat. Got a nice trout right here, and he spit the hook right here at the kayak, so did not land that fish. But as you can see, it's got just a really incredible area. This is a oyster bed, the real pale section there that you see. It's a huge oyster bed there. This area had about 3 or 4 large oyster beds that you could fish on. A ton of mullet, ton of bait fish, mangroves, but didn't really get into anything on there. But as you can see, this has an incredible mangrove line out here. Beautiful water, beautiful grass flat. Holds just a ton of trout, ton of snook and reds. Hooked into a nice red while I was talking to that gentleman. But that also lost that fish. But what I'm doing is I'm basically just cruising these mangroves, looking at the pockets, all the structure, how deep they are, how far back they go in, how much cover they have, just looking at all the grooves and cuts, and just seeing, so when the tide is all the way up, that I kind of know where these fish might be hanging out and where to target them. Especially on this corner right behind me now, it's just incredible. Saw several redfish just along this run here, and a large snook. Just didn't get anything to bite. It was just really bad bite that day. But as you can tell, really incredible area. This inlet back here, loaded with reds and a giant snook. Just nothing was biting. It was super clear. They could see me as well as I could see them. So it was just a difficult condition, but beautiful day, and it was so clear that you can see everything, which is great. If you're scouting an area, you want to be able to see everything, you want to know what's going on, and have a plan for when you get there in the future. Caught a nice mangrove tree. That was a personal best for me there. I'm sure that happens to everybody. Here's a redfish that I caught, really the only redfish I landed of the day. Smaller one, but it was nice just to tangle with one and put it in the boat. So it was bleeding pretty good, so I had to release it quickly. So here, just kind of wanted to show just this mangrove line. Again, it's really fast, but you get the idea, just the incredible structure that it's got. I run into several oyster beds along the run. You see one behind me there. On the outside of that island is like a strip that comes out about 60, 70 feet. And I'm about to run into another oyster bed here. I get grounded. You'll see that I have to lift up the pedal drive and also start paddling on a few areas. 2 oyster beds are really close to one another. I Google mapped it and knew that they were coming up, but wasn't paying close enough attention to really catch it. So they are definitely there, and they're large. So whether you want to grab oysters for bait off of them, or you just want to fish them because they hold a ton of fish. So yeah, this is that first oyster bed I got caught up on, and the other one's not far from there. But a ton of fish love to hang out on these oyster beds, and they're really productive. So I'm looking forward to getting back to this area again, and targeting it again with a little bit better knowledge of what's there and how to fish it. So decided to troll at some point here coming up, because I started getting into a little bit deeper water, and wanted to see if there was anything that would chase down a paddle tail. So was trolling a slam shady paddle tail and hooked up pretty quickly with the Jack Crevalle. So that was a fun fight right here. They're so powerful, so strong, just straight full muscle. Great fish to battle with and tangle with, and they're just a ton of fun. I don't like to keep them. I don't like to eat them. Some people do, but in my opinion, there's a lot better things out there that you can take, keep, and harvest for the table. This guy is not one of them. Strictly just a catch 'em for fun kind of fish. This guy wasn't that huge, but when they get big, they are a ton of fun. So I release this guy and start heading back to what ended up being my furthest point that I went in on this day, and it was another oyster bed that just cut across this mangrove line here that I kind of bump into here. Saw some sheep's head. I spooked them, didn't really get any action after that. But this oyster bed goes out to the point here, and then it wraps around to another pretty much area. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share these things and comment.